Hello, hello, imaginary villain here, and once again, it's time to get down to some game dev. Running a little bit late today because I messed up my previous example of how I was going to do the particle for this particular tutorial, but hey, I just need to do a quick fix and everything. So we're going to start with that because, well, if I don't do the tutorial at the start of the stream, I'll probably forget by the end of it. Once 3, 4 in the morning rolls around, I'm so caught up in deving, I don't even... responsibilities, those are for other people. People who aren't me. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, other people. Not someone who might be responsible and who gets up early in the morning. No, none of that. We won't be doing any of that here. If you're up before noon, you're doing it wrong. So, let's start with the previous thing here. Let's shrink it down to a size that actually fits the screen. I have too big of a monitor for purposes of doing this. It's kind of awkward. It's just the wrong size in general for doing this. I should probably switch to the other monitor and stream on that, but yeah, I have this big monitor. I want to use it instead. All right, so today we're going to talk about a new particle that I made, and it's got a link in the description of the video. And the particle highlights a problem that I had yesterday, where I forgot that particle didn't really move because it didn't refresh fast enough. So along the way, we've created a new one. Well, by we, I mean me. And it's called Moveable. That's all it is, just movable. Nothing special about it beyond that. It refreshes really fast. So you would want to use this one for purposes of things that actually are going to move. But it also uses more resources to do that. Not a whole lot more. But if you're going to use hundreds of these particles at the same time, it will matter. Though if anyone's seen any of my game dev so far, you can kind of tell that it's really memory efficient and it doesn't matter as much as you might think. Just saying. So we'll do the movable one here. So we're going to do the smart thing here. If you've been following from the previous one here, let's not put this in negative 100. This will be at 10. It was supposed to be. I had to fix my example here. If you didn't watch the previous stream or the previous tutorial, whichever you're watching at the time, I realize I haven't put the previous tutorial up yet, but it will be there soon. In the previous one, we arrived at this. A simple picture frame with a picture happening in the background that flickers, so this way we could have different pictures in there and everything, just to show how it would animate, and boxes in the front that you could run behind. Pictures in the back being at negative 1,000,000, because you can do that. The frame being at the 0 layer, and these being at the layer 10. So it's all about the Z's around here. So now we're going to do a new one here. Let me bring up my notes real fast for this one because, well, I usually just copy and paste things, but for purposes of the tutorial, I won't copy and paste things. I'll be good, I guess. Whatever. All right, so we're going to make a new event. And we'll put it right here. Why not? And for this new event, you're going to need a script command. And let's make a gameMap.createPEmitter with a lowercase m. All of these commands are going to be in the description below. And then we're going to use an ID for it. Most of the time, unless I need a specific name for it, I usually just use the event name or the event ID. So I use this. You can put any string you want in here, or any number for that matter. This just makes it easy because it just means it won't trample over anything else, because one thing has that event ID at any given time. And then, of course, inside of brackets and inside of, tildes or quotations, whatever you want, you got to make a string with the name of which graphic you'd like to use. Use any graphic you want that's in your pictures folder. In this case, I'm going to use a toy car, because if anything needs to move, a toy car needs to move. Copy the actual name, type it in, whatever you want. You're only going to need one image in here. You can always, of course, do more by simply typing in additional names into here, blah, woot, anything you like. If there's no image called those, it will error, so don't do this if you don't have an image called that, but I have one called toy car. For the next part of this, the config you're going to use is the name of the particle, in this case, Moveable. And then what you'd like to strap this to. We're just going to strap it to the event. If you use -1, it would strap it to the player, but we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to use this event ID, so it just straps it to this event. Cool. That will create the toy car and the Moveable. Very important. And then we have another script command here. And I'm going to set this one at, I'm going to change the PEmitter Z here. So gameMap. I highly recommend you copy and paste these and don't type them over and over like this, but only for purposes of the example, we're typing it. Still, I have to control myself not to do that because I really want to. I'm going to use the ID of the event. In this case, since I used this event ID, it's just use that. If you use something like a name for it, like toy car or whatever, then you would type toy car in there. And then the Z I'd like it at. In this case, this one's going to be at 11. Close it up there with a bracket. My bracket being a parenthesis. We're going to set this to parallel. And I'm going to have it go to another page here. You can do this on the same page if you want. Doesn't really matter. So we'll self-switch A, next page. And here we're going to have it move. And it's going to move. We'll go to the right like 3 times. And then back to the left. Actually, we'll have it turn left. And then you can move left a couple times. In fact, I'm going to put it all the way over on the side here so it looks like it's driving along doing cool things. Because why not? I'll show you a better thing to do later, but for now, this will be fine. So it's going to move right, say 7 times. Sure. And then left 7 times. Sure. Perfect. Don't forget to tell it to actually do that. Kind of important. I can move at the normal speed. Why not? I don't really care on this one here. All right. I'm going to label this one as toy car because they're all starting to say, you know, EV and a number, and that is kind of ridiculous. This is my toy car. Woohoo. Okay. And then we start it up. Start your engines, folks. Start your engines. I did actually have the thing, right? Oh. I made this mistake last time too. Don't mind me. When you put the name of the particle, be certain to actually make it a string. I so rarely type these that I forget to do that sometimes, and well, don't forget. And you'll be happier. Oh, look, the car is moving. Oh yeah, the car is backing up. Oh, it's literally like a student parallel parking here. It's like, I can't get it. Oh my gosh. Terrible plan here. Cool. Woohoo. And of course, it's in front of the player. Yay. And still goes in front of the boxes because it's at 11 and this is at 10. Now let's see here. I'm going to get myself a command here for this. Actually, you can do additional things here. Let's make a new thing for it. It can do just for funsies, we're going to make a new thing for this because why not? I'm just going to migrate this on over real fast. We're going to make ourselves a new image here. Nothing too crazy. I'll put it on a different layer. This is Krita, which is a free art program. It operates a lot like Photoshop. If you need a free program, I highly recommend it. I mean, it's open source. It's nothing particularly resource intensive. It's going to say beep beep. I'm going to make it smaller because that's huge. It should be. Where is it? Way down here. Okay. Still big. Fair enough. could have made this beforehand, but then I couldn't have told you about the start program, so, you know, I didn't. Beep, beep. Woohoo. Let's make it easier to see. We'll use stroke on it, and we'll set it to white. It'll look nice and easy to see. All right. This is obviously egregiously big. We'll do the saving on the other screen here. Yeah, it's egregiously big. I don't think it needs to be this size, but I mean, why not? We will be naming it, of course, Beep. Beep. And I will copy that name. Nice, cool. And I saved it as a PNG, very important. Actually, I don't know why I bothered to save it like that. Let's do another one. And this one is going to be, you can't use the same thing here. If you use the same thing, it will overwrite the previous one. I'm going to call this one Beep Beep. And I'm going to use the Beep Beep image. Still trap it to the same event because I want it to follow this event. And this one here, I'm going to copy this thing. And let's make this a number at 12. And we're going to call it Beep Beep. Also, I'm going to extend its movement a bit. It's actually moving one. It's getting slightly farther to the left each time. I think it's probably because it turns left. It doesn't really turn right. Doesn't really matter. I need 4 more of those, sure. Not the best way to do it, but that's fine. For purposes of this, I just want to show that you can strap an additional image to it. And look, see, now the car has a beep beep attached to it, which you could make appear at any time. So, first let's do something to make the beep beep, go above it, because that's just terrible, right? I mean, look where it's at. That's awful. So, what we're going to do is another script command. These were all also used in the previous one here. You're going to use almost the same 4 commands over and over and over. There's other commands. They're not that useful. This one is significantly more useful, or these 4 are. So in this case, once again, gameMap.set, and we're going to do PEmitter. You'll notice they all begin with that. And then this is POS, short for position. Be certain to use the same name. In this case, Beep Beep. And then you give it an X and a Y. I'm just going to leave the X where it is. I don't really care about that. But the Y, I'm going to make it go up by about 50. And what this will do is it'll make the beep beep go higher. This obviously takes some experimentation to see where you want it. You could also move it into the front of the car in case the horn's coming from the front, which that might even be something I do right now. So we'll do -100. And then we're going to do positive, probably like maybe 50. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ditch those. And then I'm going to take all this beep beep stuff. I'm going to copy it over here. I'm going to have it do it right here. And then I'm going to make another move command. And it moved that many spaces there, so it's going to... No, not a transfer. I know what I'm clicking. I swear I do. Now we're going to have it move left. 10 times. At which point we're going to use a new command. Once again used last time, but might as well get a little repetition here. So gameMap.deletePEmitter. And then we're going to use the name of the thing we want to delete, which is beep beep. I don't need that at the end of it. All right. And now it will move to the right, do a little beep, and then move back. And then, you know, let's move the beep a little more just to make it a little better, because why not? You really start to see how much animation you can do with this. Like, it really does just kind of do all sorts of things. You could be parallaxing like crazy with everything moving. Everyone's all sitting there going, oh, I want to put like a bunch of layers in parallax. You can do that here. You could use this same moving particle on clouds or something if you want. It's not the particle itself that moves, it just refreshes faster, which is why I called it movable, because it'll move with the events or the player if you want, in case you want the player to look like something different. Hint, hint. All right, and then let's have it do sound effect. I don't even know if I have sound effects on here. Let me check. I might have deleted them all, in which case I gotta grab one real fast. Let's see, play sound effect. I don't even have noises for these. That's awkward. Or are they playing them through a different thing that I don't get to hear? One moment, let's see. I don't see it though doing that. Interesting. Huh. Let me double check that it's even playing sound. That's strange. Guess I should have checked that beforehand, right? Actually, I'll make sure to even have the sound files in here. I may need to copy them in real fast just for purposes of showing this. As you can see, professional tutorial here. It looks like the sounds are all there. The sound is not actually playing from the desktop. Well, we'll put a buzzer there or something. It doesn't really matter. And then for purposes of this, it would play the buzzer at that point. Goes forward. Oh, there you go. Perfect. It's like, oh, nope. Maybe make it a little deeper. I don't have a car sound. I actually do probably have a car sound somewhere, but, you know, I'm not digging it up. That will take a long time, and I don't think anybody wants to watch me do that for a tutorial, but I could make the pitch way lower. It's weird that it doesn't play the sound effect from the thing there. There might be some issue with how it's streamed. There you go, close enough. Also, Steam community thing. Very important. So now you know how to do movable particles strapped to events. And how to do additional ones strapped to there too. So just in case you, for some reason, need a car that beeps, or flickering pictures, or all these things, we're getting a little bit closer towards the, you know, having one of the weirdest tutorial maps ever. All thanks to Pixie Particles. Of which everything you see on the screen now is done by Pixie Particles, except for the player character. But there's actually a way to do it for the player character too, so that it actually animates him. We'll get to that though. That's a little more complicated. But anyway, that should cover the tutorial for today. As always, the particle will be in the description, and I'll make a separate tutorial video for this later. I'll remove it from the stream that it's currently in. And I'm probably going to start putting all the particles in one location, probably on itch, you know, and I just free to download things, so you only have to download one file. But, you know, I haven't quite gotten that yet. That'll probably be later tonight. So until then, you'll just have to download them from the actual descriptions of these videos. And that covers this tutorial on the movable particles in Pixie. Well, a movable particle in Pixie. Don't worry, there's a lot of cool things ahead. And now, let's get to game dev. Because, well, as exciting as it is to do that, I do want to finish this game sometime. I think? Question mark? Or at least have some people can play with, which, yeah, that might be Might be a little while, but that's okay. The bitrate stream's a little weird, huh? It doesn't look like it's low. Well, I don't know what to tell them, but that's okay. It looks like it's working, so yeah. You know, when you have internet in the middle of farm country that's powered by banjos, people don't play banjos loud enough at night, so the internet just gets worse. It's the only explanation that makes sense if you just don't think about it. And, you know, why think about it when you could just not think about it? It's the Twitter way. It's way better. All right, let's listen to some other random music. You know, I've been listening to Eufolka lately, also known as Wingless Seraph. Do I like that one? I think I like the battle ones better. Let's listen to those instead. Just makes me feel all excited. And then I take all that excitement and just start coding things, and it's less exciting. But hey, you know, whatever. That's all part of game dev. Let's see what... Oh, that's about right. This is one of the things where I wish there was someone sitting in the chat right now to actually tell me if it was too loud or too quiet or whatever, or if I should just turn it off entirely. Bro, what's a chat for if not to tell you all the dumb things you've been doing? Alright, so yesterday I made a list of things that I need to do. And I settled on having the clowns do fire, the jacks do poison, the Annies do darkness. The teddies are just violent, I guess. It's pretty much, I don't know, like, they're the only melee enemy at the moment. I kind of think there should be another melee enemy, but I just want these 4 enemies to work. And then to just have more of them each new level, like more bosses and things, so it just gets harder and harder. Because, you know, that's all that really matters. It just needs to be obnoxious enough that people go, yeah, this is cool, and that's good enough for me. It's fine. Alright. So, where were we at here? I guess we're working on the jacks first. I have them set to spawn just... They actually spawn a poison event, but it doesn't do anything yet. In this case, poison pool, but I have a poison event. Well, I have a darkness event. I don't think I wrote a pool into here, did I? Let me bring up my code here. Should be on page 2. So we're on the pools here. Oh, I don't need the console logs anymore. It works. What I did need was the spell name. If I'm gonna make the types and the name the same, I should actually just use only the name thing, but whatever, I'll get to that in a bit. I'm gonna turn this down in my ears a bit. I end up talking really loud because I think it's really loud, but then I listened to the previous stream and it wasn't that loud at all. It just sounds really loud to me. I gotta remember that's a thing. It just doesn't even occur to me that that's a thing I need to worry about. These are the pools, right? Okay. Let me save this real fast right there. Actually, I don't know why I didn't just copy this. It doesn't need to damage the player at all. These are all the commands it needs right here. Well, you know, I figured it out eventually. Sometimes it just takes me a little longer than others, that's all. I don't know, I'm writing pool after there. It has pool in the name, there's pool above there. It says pool a lot of places, but that's okay. Oh yeah, I have a slow ability. Oh, the teddies could slow you. Oh, that'd be horrible. I'm gonna add that to the list. That's just obnoxious. Yeah, we'll save that for those ones there, because that just sounds horrible. They already chase after you with swords, and they're already obnoxious, so it'd be a rough fight, to say the least. I think I'm just going to copy this darkness pool here, right? That's 257 was the one I was using, but I'm just going to copy this so I don't gotta redo all the code. Recycle, reduce, reuse. Close the game dev loop. I think that's all I have to do. It doesn't use any of this information anymore, which means I don't need it. That means I also don't need poison timer, because that was part of that weird thing. I'm going to put this up here, just so they stay together. I don't know why I have it set for a random thing like that. Whatever. It's not actually random. It's actually a number there. I think at one point I was randomizing the things, but I just didn't see a point. Okay, so I think it's everything I need. Status duration 2. Maybe I'll do 3 on that, since it doesn't apply actual damage. And it does say 257, right? So I just cleverly made it why I didn't have to do this type these in a second time, right? Didn't I change these for the jackpots? I thought I did. Oh my gosh, I didn't. That's awful. That must be the clown head one that I changed them for. No, I changed them right here. Okay. Yeah, 257, perfect. Alright. No. Oh, not that. That's the wrong thing I need. That is the stream thing that I'm trying to grab, and not the game. Not that there's anything on there that you really would... It's not really a spoiler to see it, but... They have the same pop to them, so I just ended up grabbing one. And oh yeah, I made a new picture. So now the clowns have a... Or, well, I guess the jacks, because there is a clown picture over here. I have my clown picture. And I'm clicking off the screen. Alright, so... Let's see if it does the poison things like it's supposed to. And if they work. I mean, it should work, because I literally just have a... I mean, I'm just copying the code and changing a couple variables. Everything's set to be pretty modular, so I mean, I'll have to remake everything from scratch, which is usually the way I prefer to do it. Takes a little longer initially, but since I plan on adding a lot of abilities over time and everything, it's going to be kind of necessary to make it very expandable. Alright, let's get the boss out here. There we are. He's hiding from me. Don't hide from me. Come back here and hit me with poison. Not the little Haas. We don't care about them. Where are you, big one? There we go. Alright, well, it's doing the darkness, which is completely the wrong thing. Nice. Excellent. And there's a simple reason why it's doing the darkness. Because right here, I didn't tell it to do the poison animation. I just left it. That's smart. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. This is great. Actually, we have a poison pool around here somewhere, right? Of course, I deleted it, like a silly person. I think it was called Poison Pool, if memory serves. Like, it wasn't anything special about it. Oh my gosh, I did delete it. Let me double check what it was called. I had 2 particles, but I think one was a pool and the other was not. Of course, Explorer decides to crash. Sure, fine. I will say this about Windows 10, it does recover surprisingly well. Let me find this other version of the game real fast. Of course, I do this off screen just so I don't have to worry about revealing other things that I'm not sure I want to reveal. I really just don't stream proof my computer as well as I could. There could be personal information that I don't want. So we'll open another version of the game here, and then this should have the command I want. Okay, the poison flame, well, that was what it was. This is why you back up your game every single day. If you haven't backed up your game, take a moment and just do that right now. But you can always do a quick fallback and go, okay. Oh. And go, okay, look, I don't even have to figure it out. I can just do that, and then boom, done. And then, did I set a time on this? How long does hers stay around? Same time. And this is using the exact same name, right? Sure. And then we make certain I have the exact name in here. I do. Alright. I'm just going to use that as my world selection screen. I guess there'll be a little bit of story in there, but for the purposes of this tutorial, for this prototype, I'm not that concerned about a story in that area yet. It's not applying poison, but it is in fact hitting the player and doing the right particle. It doesn't last for very long though. Oh. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Because for some reason I decided to copy the darkness shot up there and not all the poison information. Oops. Yeah, you know, it worked out, I guess. I'm going to adjust this time here for... Do I double this one? I don't know. You can get stacked by a lot of poison though. And I haven't really included a way to heal the poison other than just suffering until it goes away. Let me close the backup version of the game. I just need to get the 4 bosses working, and just one of each of the regular enemies working, and then tell them all to spawn an increasing frequency the farther in they get, and then I guess have some kind of leveling system. Do I even have that? I don't know. I might just not bother for the prototype. Well, for the first prototype. I mean, after all, each week I'm going to add to the prototype and just keep updating it on it, so as soon as that first one comes out, it'll just get weekly updates. Until it's an amazing game, or until people just go, stop making this, why would you do this? There we go. Look, it keeps doing it. Nice. They go away, right? Waiting, we're waiting. Oh, perfect. They do last quite a long time, though. Maybe too long. Since I slowed the player down, it's actually kind of annoying enough to actually make it difficult to dodge. I mean, I have dodge abilities that I'm not even using, so it's not that hard to dodge. And a heal for the player too, so it's not like it's that bad. But since I'm trying to get hit by it, So with that one done, let me check that off my list of things to do. I haven't really messed with the slow stuff yet. What am I going to use to make the player for a slow particle? I think I had something, but... So, fog green, fog blue, and poison pool. What does that do? Let's go over and play with a particle here for a second. Though I haven't done any tutorial on this, this is how you make particles for pixie particles. This is the website in question too. But if you just run a search for Pixie Particles Editor, it'll come up. Pretty easy to find. I'm going to edit a previous particle, in this case Poison Pool. And then I think Fog Blue and Fog Green were the two I had in here. Yeah. Indeed, indeed. Get rid of the poison one. That doesn't look cool. I guess I just made a quick pool for it and didn't bother to do anything interesting with it. That's not cool. I don't like that. I thought there was a slow effect. I know there's a frozen effect, which is applied by the Ice Blast. I'm pretty certain it's applied in here. Frozen? Status duration, blah blah blah. Flips their D switch here, and then down here it applies the actual. Oh, farther down. Oh, the block thing. Fog loop on the block. Okay. Again, I think I have an idea how this one's supposed to look. But I might as well start with what I previously had and from there, pop it block. There you go. I guess I could just recycle the same thing for it. You know, I have an idea here. Because I have a picture of Hourglass. And if I can get away with just recycling and just make a slight change, I'm into that. That's a little fast. What if I got rid of these? That's a little too frequent. So, I'm going to slow their rotation speed a bit here. So they'll rotate between 0 and 20. That makes it a little slower. Start rotation. That's fine. The number of particles needs to just be way less. Maybe not that much less. Let's make this go backwards. I extend their life a little bit. I mean, I guess that would show that they're a little slowed down or something. I mean, they're not particularly fast. Making them get a little larger to do that. I could also do it in reverse here so that they appear out of nowhere. I think I like the illusion of it better where they start, you know, full opaque and then they go to less opaque. I definitely want them slower. The scale's okay, I guess. Maybe it's slightly smaller. This just scales them from starting scale to ending scale. Maybe 0.4. I could speed them around in a circle here. Nah. That's not good. I don't like that at all. Can make them fall. Can make them go backwards or something. Nah. I almost want less of them. I think it looks better with the rotation, honestly. Okay, that's probably fine. So we save it, You can sit there and tweak these settings. There's so many different types of things, including you can just do base things like points, rectangles, circles, bursts, and things like that. Burst might be okay, I guess, maybe. Nah. I'd have to readjust to make burst look cool. I'm fine with ring. Alright, so this will be my slow ability. Let me copy paste that over into the right directory. So bring that directory real fast. Okay. You take your particle, name it whatever you want, put it into here. Put it in the particles directory. Copy the name. Bring up your game. Go to particle emitter wherever you have it. I'd like to rename it as greatest plugin in the history of RPGMaker. Copy the name of it in there, and then that's all it takes. So now you have access to that one too. Okay, so since only the player gets slowed, since I just have stop for the other, we're going to go ahead and I think I've already actually added in a lot of these things, so I don't have to make too much special here. But for slowed, I'm going to have just slow. Oh, can't type. Slow. Just Sal. Not even so, just Sal. I believe this was called Hourglass. Okay. Oh, nope, it was even longer than that. Whatever, just as long as you use whatever name you have there, it's all that matters. If you use the wrong name, it will crash your game. So don't do that. Player slowed is fine. And then I'll keep this information to the side for a second because I'm going to need to enter it into this here. It's not going to be a projectile that slows, maybe? Maybe it will be, I don't know. So far I only have the bosses applying status ailments. I might change that later. I guess the Teddy will have two different types of pools. It'll have a sword pool that just does damage, and then it'll have a slow pool that also can appear. You can also have a slow projectile. I don't know. We have kind of a pool fetish going on right now. There's lots of pools in the attic, evidently. I haven't even... there's slow up there, so I can probably just copy that, but whatever. I'll just copy it now. I thought I was going to need that information, but I guess not. Oh, I haven't made one for slow yet. I have one for darkness and one for poison for text. Time to make a new font. Well, anybody watching is about to learn a lot of the dirty secrets involved here. I wonder if it's like dropping frames or something. I notice there's like a wall going on, people actually connecting and watching and not, so it makes me wonder if it's disconnecting people or not. I don't know. If it is, then, well, I'll have to watch the stream later and find out. If that's the case, I may have to upgrade my internet, because the internet's just, it's not that great here. That's why I'm doing it right now, because I'm not sharing it with my roommate. If I was sharing it with my roommate, I don't think I could actually stream successfully. Okay, so time to make a pixie font. Let's base it off of the other ones so I don't have to, so I can make it kind of around the same. What's poison look like? That's pretty cool. These are great. I made a plugin that could actually just sit there and pretty much do these things. So, you know, now I can make use of all these pixie things if I want to. don't see anybody anyway. It's not that great. Almost like the white at the top better. Maybe. Probably gonna use the same one for freezing too. But the player can't be frozen because the player's already grossly outnumbered. It wouldn't be very good to freeze the player too. Let's do a white background color, see how it looks. That's fine. I like the black background anyway, but the color's just for visually me checking here. Let's go ahead and save it. In the folder, we're gonna name this one. I guess I might name it Frozen just because I'm gonna use it for the freezing things too. And then we're going to copy it into the fonts folder. Borrow the name real fast. And then we're going to go to my plugin. After I close this. No. Okay, we'll say okay. I don't think I made a change, but whatever. Just in case I didn't forgot about it. Find my own plugin. That's Hi Villain message. There we go. Let's preload a font. Frozen font. Important. And now that that's available, call it Teddy something or other. So let's move it there. I'll say slowed. Creation style. Frozen. Alright. I haven't made an actual pool effect for it though, so I'll probably just recycle the terrible one I have and make a better one in a moment here. So I have an effect up here on the player, but not one to actually show up, so that's kind of weird. It's weird. It does look like it's just dropping frames on the thing. Interesting. But I don't see any message about it, so it makes me wonder why that is. Weird. It looks okay. So let's go back to here and where's the teddies at? Where are my teddies at? We're just going to go ahead and recycle code all day long. I guess we're going to use this as a slow thing so I can actually see it, though it's not particularly interesting of a thing. Actually. Oh, wait. I want the target. For now. I'm way too lazy to type things. Also, if you type it, there's a chance you mess it up. Had that happen, I think I spent like 15 minutes trying to figure out what I messed up. It was so dumb. I guess it doesn't need that long. It's already obnoxious. They do spawn a lot of them. The other thing to note is here, I also don't have a slow graphic for the screen yet either. I'll have to make that as well. I make the player real slow. But I'm using a command to set the thing now. So 3.5 is the normal. I'll set them at 2.5, I guess. 3.5 there. Do I need anything else on this? Oh, did I have... Interesting. Don't need that on the screen anymore. So... Teddy, type Teddy boss. And this keyboard is terrible. I'm using a replacement keyboard because my other one broke. And it's a weird spongy one that rolls up and everything. It's so bizarre to type on. It says, we'll call it a slow pool because all these are pools. I might do an else attack here, so I'm too lazy to type random over and over, so I'm going to borrow this code. I'm probably just going to put it in the middle of this action ticker thing here. Yeah, let's just do this here. Copy that there. And action 1 will be that it throws a sword at the enemy. Or I guess the player in this case. I'm going to random these 1 through 4. That's all I'm doing right here is I'm just letting it randoming a self variable here and then letting it pick between which one it wants to do a different action. And this is only done if it's over 800 pixels away. This is set to mode far. It has to be within 800 pixels. Actually, that's fine because if it has a thing that if it's closer, it'll do this anyway and try to stab the player. Yeah, and then I want to borrow a particular thing I've set up for the Annies here. I did the code to spawn events randomly around the player for these pools, and potentially even under the player. And I put it in a common event, so I didn't have to do it a second time. You know, like a sane person. Do I want more than 2? I don't think so. Seems unnecessary, and I'm just going to make this 2 here. I think that's good enough. Oh, I need to put the event number too. The event number, slightly off the screen because this is slightly too tall. 265. All right, and pretty sure that's all I need. I remember to save here, right? Okay. Not that one. A little jerky there, isn't it? It's interesting. It shouldn't be. I'm going to check something real fast before we do this. Sometimes RM does some weird things, like leaving processes it shouldn't. Usually a Qt web engine process. Often caused because I'll open it so often and then I'll open it too fast without closing it. And you'll get confused. I advise against doing that. It causes problems. It's still a bit laggy. I might have to restart it. I've got a lot of programs open though. Oh, actually, my bad, this is open. This program will often fight with RM. Look at that. Look at the difference. Just that program being open somehow will fight with RM. It's one of the most bizarre things I've encountered. Huh. spring for better internet. I didn't really want to, but it does seem like for purposes of streaming it might be necessary. I'd like to up the actual bitrate to 6,000 instead of 5,000. But the actual internet here only gets to 5,500 bitrate, so it's not even good enough to do 6,000. I don't see it making the pools. Where's the big teddy? There we go. Slow me. Oh, look, slowed. Perfect. Oh, look at that. Nice. Okay, I kind of want to make those actually bigger. Okay, so let's go back and play with this particular particle. So they're just too small. I don't like them. But they are tiny. So we're gonna make a new slow particle that's slightly better than the other one, or at least slightly larger. And I'm gonna save it into particles real fast. And then I'm also gonna play around with this here. So combat HUD here. Copy, paste. And then this one here, I guess I'll name these as what they are. Poison. And this is darkness. I also need a burning one as well, which I haven't made yet, but whatever. Again, you'd say copy one here. If you haven't used Ultra HUD Maker Pro, I recommend downloading it. There's a free version that is amazing and will let you just design your own interface by just dragging things around, which is just so much nicer than, well, everything else. It might not work on Android, I don't know. This version is different than the previous version for MB, which didn't work on Android, but who knows? I haven't made anything for Android yet, and I don't know if I ever will. Or if I do, I'm not sure it'll be in this engine. I don't even know. Let's see. Is that a slowed? Load graphic. Probably just the hourglass is fine. And then load counter. In this case, we're going to use the slowed timer being greater than 0. Which reminds me this also needs to be changed here. So if slowed is on, I believe. And current status here. I guess just displays all the time, that's fine. And then add it to this one here. Player HUD, so if I hide the player HUD, I only have to hide that one thing there. That seems fine. So I'm okay with that. The other thing I want is, I guess, a pool for it. I don't even know on this one. This is gonna be an interesting one here. Start with one of my previous pool particles. This one here. Don't rotate it. Also, don't change the color. kind of weird, like some sort of weird, kind of like an Escher art or something. Just bizarre. I like it already. I don't know if it's gonna work that well for this, but that's okay. Lifetime is so long. It almost seems like it should be reversed, right? Like it should start smaller and do that, get larger. Just no particle rotation that. That lifetime is just way too long. Maybe speed it up a little. That might work. I didn't have a very good idea of how I wanted this graphic to look in the first place, I'm not gonna lie. Oh no, I like it way better the other way. Maybe slightly larger to start with. I want him to seem almost kind of lazy. Like really lazy. Maybe even lazier than that. I guess it'll do for now. I definitely don't like it, but I also don't actually have a good idea of what I want it to look like. Usually when I sit down with one of these graphical things, I do that and I have an idea, but no, I don't. Alright, so copy it into my particles directory. I'm going to call it slow pool because this makes it easy. And then head over to particle emitter. Slow pool. And then I call this slow pool, and then get the name of the hourglass. Sadly, I didn't just call it hourglass. I called it something else, probably involving its size. We'll just copy paste that. Alright. That should give me the interface setup. When I'm hit by it, it should also cause it to spawn a better looking thing, or at least a little more distinguishable. Better looking is very subjective. It looks fine, I guess. I don't like how the hands and feet don't actually, they don't get colored blue. Or they don't tinge blue, I should say. It's just their natural color just doesn't mesh well with the illusion of the blue. Make it look darker. This does not excite me. This does not please me. No. It is fake. I have it set to spawn the boss if you collect 2 of the tarot cards. Not gonna be like that in the rest of the game, but you know, now. Alright, come on. Use your little pools, that's all I care about. Come on, put the heal on here. I gotta get hit by it too. Hit me. Oh, I missed it, no. Hurt me. Not with that. Let me with this. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Did it not apply the number? Come on. It, in fact, did not apply the number. Alright, alright. Well, first off, let's make certain I put it in here correctly. Load timer is 68. Okay. Let's make certain I put it in here correctly. It does in fact have a thing there. It turns on slow, of course. It does do this. Let me double check that I actually gave it a duration, but I'm pretty certain it did because I just copy pasted from the other one. Yeah, its time is... Yeah, but the status duration is actually in the event itself, that's right. Yeah, 2 seconds should be fine. And the ordering is exactly the same as this one. Okay, that's a little bizarre. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna do this the hard way. Oh, I know it'll go to here. And I want status duration. Though status duration should be correct. Thing is how it says the message for that. So that seems weird if it doesn't do that. Alright, and I also want it to tell me the order those are in for reasons. Okay. I'm also going to change one other thing here. It won't matter for this test, but if he's within 1,000, he'll do it. And then, just to make certain he still does this, A always moves. Okay. I think I like the always move strategy better than the attacks built into the movements thingies. I need to spawn the character over in front of the one I'm working on. I need to slow the teddies down though, because I made them originally based on the speed of the player being much faster. That's a pretty rapid hop. I also might need to make it so he acts more often so he doesn't move all the time. Because his movements are pretty designed to be so he can catch the player. Come on. There we go. What are we saying here? Now that's curious. Usually I expect it to be, well, wrong. And yet, here we are. 68 is actually saying that it is that. Let me check something real fast. I might be just using the wrong variable. That's possible. 68 is the timer like that. Maybe I have a second one called that and just forgot to delete it. No, slow timer's right there. Greater than 0, it shows up. It did show up. That is true. Oh. I changed the display condition, but not the actual information it was supposed to display. Well, you know. At least that was a quick to solve problem. I was expecting it to be just something dumb I did somewhere, but nope. Well, it was something dumb, but like an actual mess up in the code and not just forgetting to tell it the right thing to display. I guess it's kind of a mess up in the code, but I didn't type that code out. I wish you could use that just directly in there. That editor is so much better than the built-in one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the teddies are spastic. I don't know if I like them at all. There we go. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's love right there. That's horrifying. Look at how many... I said them to spawn way more of them, but if they just keep like all spawning like that... They need to think so that if you block, they move. They just stand there. That's not good. Make note of that. Improvements for the teddies. Teddy improvements. Make regular teddies move away if blocked. Probably important to do. Otherwise, it's just... Well, they'll just keep swinging at you, and then you'll basically die because the block's not that effective. Like, it's effective enough, but it's not insanely effective or anything. So, alright, what are we going to do with these teddies here? We're only working on this one right here. We'll do another if here. Additional branch if player is blocking, which is... here. Blocking is off. Else? Grab this and put it in here. We usually default to the collision thingy that I have, which is just a same common event that tells them all to kind of maneuver around because they hit something. It's not particularly a smart one, but it does work. Where are we at here? Collision behavior 1, I guess. I'm fine with that. You already go pretty crazy after the player. They're almost too fast, I think. Do I want to limit how often they act? I might want to do that too. They were kind of a dumb enemy. They didn't really have a lot of the craziness of these with their action tickers and everything. I'm going to copy paste some stuff because I am way too lazy to continuously type the exact same things over and over. Well, at the start of the entire thing, as long as they aren't frozen, I want it to do the ticker. Oh, it says movement. I actually think I like the movement and then the attack better. I do mix them up a bit on the other ones, so I guess it, I don't know, just depends, but so much nicer for organization. The ones get kind of really hard to read. And to avoid typing this if stuff out again, so I'm just going to set up a thing where every once in a while it'll run through this, and then when it runs through it enough, it will actually allow the enemy to do something. Let's put it in an if. We'll just do 30 for now. And then, just to avoid typing it again, I'm going to grab the thing that resets it to 0. I could type all this, but I don't want to. I just don't. Nah, I'm good. No matter which one it does, it resets it to 0, so that'll make them less ridiculous. I'll give the teddies a bigger light, too. Because they're running at the player. They're not going to be all stealth or anything. I do have an assassin teddy, but they're not going to be in the initial prototype because I'm going to have a whole darkness area where the enemies intentionally try to make it dark so you can't see them as easily. And they just don't emit light. That should make it a little more interesting, I guess. Yeah. It'll be a fun one to play with. I might actually do it in the Halloween style area. Because I do actually have a lot of that made already. I just need to get all the collisions together for it. And I think I need to make like 4 or 5 graphics for it. It won't take me very long when I get around to it, but it's not going in the first version of the prototype. It is not necessary. Not when it already randomly builds these other levels. It's going to randomly make the Halloween levels. There's going to be Christmas levels too, because it's just all themed after garbage you'd find in an attic, and everyone's got Christmas decorations in their attic, or holiday decorations. And then, yeah, I'm going to have a creepy doll section too, because obviously there's a lot of dolls in there. Poppet's a doll, there's all these other dolls. So. There'll be some story areas, it'll be interesting, but that's a ways off. We're not going to make that right now. We're going to work our way up to it. It'll be fine. Alright, so let's make the big teddy a little less ridiculous. I don't know if I want to reduce his moves. You know, does the boss relocate on this ticker here? But he waits on it. That's fine. Even his moves are set to be a little, to take a little longer. I don't think there needs to be two things there, an attack ticker and a regular ticker. Yeah, probably does, actually. How often do I want to do this? Do I force him to be within range to use it? That might be the case. I'm going to try it in range. Or the attack ticker here. And after it does this, set the attack ticker to 0. Otherwise, it's potentially filling it up twice, and that's just a lot. Makes the teddy way too fast. Let's make some new attack ticker for both of these. I'm going to copy paste these things here so it's the right one. I need to set these up for every one of them, I think. It'd be a good idea. It gets smarter and smarter. I can't wait to just like be able to dump this into another game and have like almost everything made, and then just change numbers and tweak around behaviors, and it'll just be good to go. Like all the basic systems will just exist. All right, so I think that should be enough to be good at for that. Like to make the teddies a little less spastic. I need to redo their animations too, because their idle animation, their moving animation, they move their sword too much, so it jerks around all weird. Or idle to running or something. It doesn't look right. Oh, don't go in that one. That's not the right one. Woohoo! I kind of want the hands to shake at the players nearby. I could do that. It's a little weird. I might need to write some code to make that possible, but I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Yeah, I'll think about it. That will not be in this version. I don't care that much. The movement for this mouse thing still sucks. I need to fix it somehow. It's just really bad. But someone else made that plugin, not me, and I'm gonna have to tweak it a bit. I mean, it was made for Envy in the first place, and I tweaked it to make it even work in the first place, but I didn't do a lot of tweaking with this particular plugin, and it works most of the time, except for when it doesn't. That's my explanation of that plugin. Alright, Teddy. Use your other abilities. Maybe, actually, I guess to be fair, we're just trying to see what it does in general. What's the collision look like on you guys? Pretty big. Good enough. Teddy's brutal. He's so fast. I don't know why he's that quick, though. He shouldn't be that quick. Turn off the collisions. Where you at, Teddy? Hit me with something. Pew, pew, pew. Gotta work on these other attacks too, which most of them are way better than this particular attack anyway. They're not balanced at all. The lightning one's broken. It's so overpowered. It's just like a death ball then it gets in it usually. Yeah. No, maybe not. Did I break it somehow? I might have. I did make a lot of changes recently. Maybe I messed it up. Interesting. Oh. Unexpected token. I'm willing to bet that in my effort to change all of the stuff to the Emitter command, I messed that one up. There was hundreds of them to change, so it wouldn't surprise me one bit if I messed one of them up somewhere, you know? Let's see. That command looks correct. Somewhere where there's an extra bracket it shouldn't have. Could easily be here. It would make sense of one of these. Terrible when it's in these, because when it's in my plugin I can just see where it is. Yeah. Conditional branch syntax there. Okay, well. Definitely one of these then. EF's here. Alright, well, let me borrow this really fast here. Let's use our little cheat sheet here to know exactly where the mistake is. Let's put it right here just so I can see. Oh, I see. Problem being that is an object, and in the objects you have to put the colon there. Is it a colon? The double dots, whatever they're called. It's 2:28 a.m., whatever they're called. Perfectly fine. I'm sure I made this mistake on all of them. I'm not sure all these are even going to be in the first version, because I need to balance them. And like I said, the lightning one is just the most overpowered thing imaginable at the moment. When it works, it just completely annihilates things. Because every single strike does damage, and it just sits there, and they have a pretty good range, and it's just... The enemies have gotten a lot smarter, so now the bosses actually move if they're hit. Or some just teleport away to make it really obnoxious, but... I don't know if the Teddy does or not. I don't think I changed it like that yet. Huh. I like how it looks like a little teleport in. That was completely by accident, that weird teleport in there. She's actually supposed to walk in from there, but for some reason, the timing is just wrong, and so it looks like she teleports in. And it's all in how fast it's displaying her first image. It just doesn't quite work out the way I wanted. But the way it came out kind of cool, so I guess I don't really care. Alright, does it work? It's hitting way down here. Wait a minute. That's not right. Huh. How did that happen? It's hitting way down here. That's weird. Okay. So the enemy array is 189? Pixel true distance switch D. That is the enemy array, right? Let me double check that I'm looking at the correct array. Well, not that enemy array. Alright, I guess I called it something different. I'm going to search for 189, that'll make it easy. I'm pretty certain it is the enemy array. Yeah, because it wouldn't hit nails on us. Yeah, pushes to the enemy array there, yep. Yep, that is the enemy array. So... it doesn't have a collider, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a collider. Because I want to see where the event's really spawning. So maybe the image is just spawned way off of where the collider actually is. Which is very possible. Because the image is not actually tied too much to where the event is. I mean, it is tied to it some, but... they can be pretty far off since everything is designed around it being, you know, little tiny things that are 48 by 48, and these pictures are huge, so... they end up kind of off kilter a bit, especially the particles, because unlike my images, which often default to them being aligned vertically so that the bottom is, you know, aligned with basically the event's bottom, these are just centered, so they become even harder to place on this one the larger they get. They're not even quite entirely centered too. It's really weird. They're just off by some amount that is obnoxious. Alright, so this should actually let me see where the lightning strikes are. I don't need to find the enemies here, I just need to turn the lightning strikes on. I hit the right button for them, there we go. No, they're down there, they're hitting the right area. And it actually killed everything in the middle of that too. Okay. It's not flashing damage either, that's interesting. You can see where they land, it's also not hitting these. Which shouldn't be the case. I don't know what that error is for. This boss, I'll make note of it. It's the first time the error's shown up, so it could just be a weird timing error. Occasionally those happen because I have everything running so fast to try to make up for stuff. But I think the lightning just strikes too far. Is really the best way to put it. Like, there's really nothing about it. It's just the circle it's looking at is just so massive that it can hit far outside of its range. All right. I'm not sure why it's missing the others, though. That is unusual. We'll try 60. I don't think it needs to be anywhere near that other one there. It's like a severe of like, actually a radius of 60 seems pretty good. Actually, that might be too big even then. I guess it depends. It might be a diameter. No, it's a radius. Because I made this one. Unlike Q movement where it's a radius. No, sorry, it's a diameter. This is a radius, so 60 might be too much. The other question is, why in the world is it missing the other thing? These need to be fixed because these just have attack equals 3, and that is not... I have a much better system set up for like the pools and stuff, so these should probably just be treated like a pool. But I haven't changed them for the player yet, so I need to make a note to do that. Because the player attacks need to be there. This also might not make it to the first version, though, this particular thing. But the firewall probably will, and so they're going to use the same thing, so... Let me make a note on that, just for both. Player spells that are stationary need damage rework. Sure. I'll get the job done for now. So they're supposed to hit this here, flip switch D on the destroyables array, and the destroyables array is 201. So it's based entirely upon the distance of them, so it shouldn't actually have a problem with that. That's interesting. I guess it's possible the enemies are too close. Wait a minute. Wait. I guess Lightning Strike doesn't actually despawn it, so this doesn't tell it to despawn at all. Otherwise I would tell it to flip to its cell switch D, but Compare doesn't do that, right? I don't think it does. I did write it to do a lot of stuff. Why don't leave this? That'll be a console log. Part there. Yeah, it flips it on the event itself, but it doesn't flip it on the thing that uses compare, so. Also, why haven't I saved everything? Okay, well, we don't need that. So. Huh. Everything else strikes those, but to be fair, these two things don't actually have a... I guess I don't have to fight the teddies right now for this. These two don't actually have the correct damage set up, so maybe they just are missing something. I don't know. Probably. They have a jank damage set up where it would just check for variable 251 if it had nothing else to do. So let's do that. Does that hit it? No. Okay, that's bizarre. Firewall, you hit? You're right on it, maybe. These are just broken. Okay, fair enough. Alright, well... Why would they be broken? It could also just be a projectile too, right? Like it could just be a copy of a projectile, but instead of having the projectile movement, it just goes up a couple things there. So what it does is it actually moves up twice while it's invisible, then draws its thing, and then moves down so that it looks like it's coming down from the location of the cloud. Because the cloud's just set to spawn higher intentionally. I'm gonna make some console logs here. I want to see if these are working first of all. Then I can see if it's just the damage system that's messed up. I guess destroyable will be one of them. And then I want the event ID. Even though this particular one is actually for enemies, but whatever, I need one for destroyables as well. What is 229? Oh, it's projectiles, right? Is it? 229. What is 229? Map blocks array. Well, it doesn't need to damage the map blocks array. If it's the map blocks array, it doesn't need a flip swell switch D at all either. I just want to know if it hits it, and if it hits it, then I want it to destroy itself. Okay, so we'll do that there, and then this will be me. And at least it'll report to me what's going on, so that'll be pretty helpful. Because she slowly turns around, just because the player is actually secretly walking. It's just teleporting the player into the painting. I need this. Clean that up for a second. And it's not doing any of them. Okay. This compare not work correctly on this. It works on all these other things. It doesn't work there. It's not even saying anything. It's literally just flashing nothing. Alright. The command somehow broken? I think so. I did put a bunch of them in there, so. Alright, well maybe it does need to be farther to work. Well, it was working at 180. I don't know why I want to do 180, but okay. Can't imagine there's a fundamental flaw in my plugin that works with so many other things, but it's possible. I have made it do a lot of different things as of late. It did actually say enemy. And did hit a destroyable. So it's like they're just way off. Like it should have hit that a bunch of times over. I mean, it costs like 6. Yeah, so they found it a few times. It is working. I'll need to fix this guy so he does those too. Okay, well. Yeah, those are going to need just a rework. For him, I forgot to change something. These are supposed to do poison, so his poison pool is... First of all, let's name it Poison Pool. I may come back to that attack, those attacks there, because I don't know if they're even going to be in the prototype. I might just leave them out and just give the player, like, you know, a bunch of projectiles to throw at things for fun. Oh, it's square. That might just be something I fix later. I was working on the bosses. I shouldn't get sidetracked. I'll be building a whole other system and I'll forget to do all this. This is 257. Actually, I can copy this. I don't need to do that. No, actually, they're on the player, I guess. Ever. I'm too lazy to constantly change this over and over. I'm just going to make this change so that I don't have to do it anymore. I did it on the other ones, but copy and pasting individually to make it like the other ones, whatever. It's not going to be particularly faster than just doing it this way, I imagine. $257 was the right one, yes? Okay. Let me double check that this thing's correct there. I'm just going to fix all the bosses right now. I don't need the extra attacks. Those are fine. I can leave them out for the moment. To make this work, I need 4 of the enemies to work and 4 of the bosses to work. That's all I need for the prototype. Just because I want it to be a pure brawl for purposes of testing to see if the combat is even remotely enjoyable. I'll probably give the player 4 different attacks to play in the prototype. Probably the 4 working attacks. It's probably all projectiles at the moment, but that's okay. The mouse movement is so bad. Like, it wants to go places all the time and it'll get confused and just go back and forth. It's really obnoxious. I don't want to speed this up because the player's a lot slower now, so making this little ghost bar much refill faster. I don't know, it's kind of like the best dodge ever. I'm not sure if I want that to be the case because it makes you invulnerable and goes through things. But some of the enemies are kind of brutal, so... And especially when you get a lot of them, it becomes a real problem. You almost need it. Alright. Make certain it spawns the right things. I gotta fix that problem with them not necessarily dying, but removing their image. Good, poisons. And those poisons work, right? Good, 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 good. I still gotta put in sound effects for everything too. I'm gonna make a note of that too. Sound effects for stuff. I'm not gonna lie, of all the things that you can do in game dev, sound work, like sound effects, is the worst thing imaginable. You gotta sit there and listen to each and every sound effect and see if it sounds like what you want. And it's not like with pictures where you can do it really fast. It takes so long. I was doing that in UE with some things, and It's just like, okay, I need a water noise. It sounds like a waterfall. There's so many water noises. After you go through the first 30 water noises, you're just like, I'll take anything that sounds even close. There's people who enjoy that, but I love everything about game dev except that one thing. Oh my gosh. I'd be tempted to pay someone if this wasn't like a free project. So not much point in paying people on this one. So that one's okay. We fixed the jack there to do all the poisons. The jack's not particularly all that tough. I'm gonna think about it for a second and let's see. What am I gonna do on that? I'll probably take a quick bio break though. Be like a minute or something, but I'll make a note saying that I will be right back. Oh, be right back. This keyboard and my hands do not mesh very well. That's huge. Worst sign ever. I shall return shortly. Alright, I'm back. So, don't need that anymore. He already slows the player, so I can move that from my list of things here. That's right, I was thinking of making the jacks do fire. Do I want a burning status ailment? I mean, isn't that basically just poison all over again? Or do I want the fires to spawn more fires? That'd be kind of neat, right? And just the fire spreads? What if the fire spreads unless the player destroys it? But I'd have to have them only spread so much because it would just quickly get out of control. And this is RM we're talking about. There are limitations on just how much you can really have going on at any one given time. Granted, I kind of pushed the limitations pretty far, but there are some serious limitations on what can't be done. Most of it's just having it all on the screen at once. I've already got a lot of things to help memory manage so I can get away with doing more. That would be kind of neat. Let's see. I'm just giving these various things here. Let's see. How would I spawn this extra? I have a thing already that kind of does that, so I don't have to do any extra here. Let's see. Randomly around the player. Randomly around. There we go. We'll just make it simple. And whenever you can get away with just cheating and doing this over and over, like, you know, like just recycle code, you should just do it. Don't redo your code. Don't be like that. Learn to recycle. It's good for you. It's good for the environment, I guess. Though this is digital code, so you know it's not like really polluting the environment, but it's polluting the digital environment. Don't pollute the digital environment. Recycle your code. The more you know and all that, I guess. I don't know. Sure. Why not? Oh, that's all it took. Actually, I could probably write that to just be one that does all of it, but I'm not going to do that. I don't care that much. I could do that, actually. Spawn pattern that. How far do I want to spawn around the enemy? I think in this case... I think I want a spawn distance. Yeah. I have X location, Y location. Yeah, I think I want that. This dot get self variable. I guess we'll call it spawn distance. So I can recycle this a little bit. It's just going to be itself. Actually, to make this more readable, let D equal... Because I want it to be on either side as much as the distance, so it should be fine to just do it this way. I could do a variety of distances, but I don't need that. That seems unnecessary here. Let's not go that distance there. That's fine. Whatever. We'll see how it goes. I think I actually have a slight issue here with how I set it up. That's okay. So... this dot set variable spawn distance. And I think I'm just going to make it 2, right? I don't really want it to be that far away. Oh, and it's going to spawn itself. What was the other number thing I was looking for here? This get self will spawn event. Oops, copy. Spawn event 198. Every 60 frames it does that. And then I'm gonna have it run this comment event before it destroys itself. Gotta give the player a fair amount of time to deal with it. No. How far do I want this to spawn is the question. Like, because this will continuously spawn. Do I want them to just spread once or keep spreading? I guess for now I'll leave it as it is, though I'm pretty certain I'm going to change this because it's going to be too good. And then... oh, that means it needs to push itself to one of the arrays, doesn't it? the darkness fool. I guess I'll push it to the projectile array. Is that what I'm doing here? This event is also not designed to be particularly expandable either. It's based on the old event things there, but I'm not going to fix it right now. It's a pool though, so I should just treat it like a pool and copy the pools. But the pools don't add themselves to the thing, so you can't destroy the pools. Maybe you should be able to destroy the pools. I'm going to do this differently here. I don't want them to spread indefinitely. So I'm going to let them do one time. One, because I don't want RM to blow up. And two, because if I make them spread indefinitely, I have to make them where they can be shot. And I don't know if I want that or not. Mostly because that would take a lot extra. I'd have to add them to one of the arrays and decide what they are, or create an array for the pools. But again, I don't really want the pools destroyable because they're on the ground. You're firing things over them. Maybe something could destroy pools, like the firewalls could or something. That's getting into a lot that's just not going to be in the first version of this game, so I don't think that's necessary. So it is spawning 198, and that means it needs to spawn. This will be the secondary, I guess. It'll be 266. I actually have in my other game, and Remember Tomorrow, there's a forced fire scene I was building, and the forest slowly gets lit on fire with more and more fire events, and you can get a lot of them going before RM finally starts choking. Probably a couple hundred of fires going would be pretty reasonable. I know I cap it at some point because there's too many other things going on and it has problems. And since these two share a lot of code, well, this is the now much better version with way better code behind it. The other needs to be the better version, but they have different mechanics and things. So I'm probably going to take a lot of the back-end code and everything and just dump it on the other one. So it'll be, they'll be pretty similar, except for just the whole combat is completely different. Just how the player fights is different. The enemies still fight about the same way. Yeah, the mouse does some weird stuff here. Like if it's still pathfinding, it'll sit there and try to drag me over into a direction, which is really annoying. How I feel about that. Not very good, I think. The other problem, though, is if I make the pathfinding stop looking so often, then it'll sit there and just decide to not move occasionally if you click on something you can't move to because it gets confused. So I need to basically write in a thing that says if a new movement input has been added to just ignore the old one. I remember last time I was trying to change that thing, and oh my gosh, the guy wrote it in the most confusing, weird way possible. It's like a plugin off of a plugin off of a plugin, so it's just all over the place. First of all, that doesn't look right. Probably hope he spawns the right event, wouldn't it? You need 198. I'm gonna make more and more complex spawn patterning things that, you know, randomize it more in more interesting ways. But for now, nah. We'll get to that. Oh, what is event 13? Oh, the Annabelle shot. No thanks. We'll switch it to this one, I guess. 158, just so it does that. Do I care about that? I guess I'll leave it for now. Yes. And then night 2 is what it was, right? Oh, wait, no. I changed this whole command. This is one of the first bosses I made, and it was using Galv's map projectiles, and then I took that out of the game entirely. So, yeah, I mostly just found that it didn't really allow for a lot of interesting things. Everything was just, it was essentially you could fire in 8 cardinal directions, and that's about it. And it's like, okay, well, I could already do that. I don't need that. I even went to all the trouble to make it so it could actually work with community lighting. Well, actually, with my own version of community lighting. The main version's changed too much, and I have been unable to keep up with all the changes. Some guy rewrote thousands of lines of code of it, and I'm just like, okay, you win. I'm not going to make this compatible. I don't want to do it. Community lighting is that thing that I make certain works in. That's kind of about it. Like, I don't even use it in my game. I actually went to use it, and it caused an error. And I don't know if the error was part of community lighting or not, or just all the plugins that I have, because I'm doing a lot of weird things. I haven't done any testing to see. That did not hit. That is weird. Let's bring up the collisions here to see why it did not hit. Of course, we're fine. Spawns don't show up very often. They should spawn just as often as everything else, though. I wonder why they're not spawning. But yeah, it just keeps wanting to walk to places like it's trying to find something. If I get the mouse again, it'll do that fine, but it just kind of decides it likes a particular thing and it wants to finish. And if you move it, it doesn't do anything. What's this? What this? Where's the boss? Did it break? No? But I don't see it. I can only conclude it broke. I know it's trying to spawn right there. Now it's trying to spawn right there. Why are you trying to spawn inside of things? That's weird. Let me double check this here. I made a change to the other ones so they wouldn't get stuck. I thought I made the same change to this one. Yeah. So there's still a glitch with the bosses. I need to figure that out. That's fine. I'm gonna change up the music. It's been going for a while. I do love Wingless Seraph, or Ufolka, whichever you want to call him, but you know, at some point, it's been going a while. Now, which one do I want? I need dungeons and stages, I guess. Yeah, for any point you want free music for your game, go to Wingless Seraph. Actually, I'll just bring it up. Bring up the thing here real fast. Yeah, go to this site here. It's real good. It's all free to use in anything you want. And something sounds pretty cool. It's like a little less common than regular RPGMaker music. In fact, I will include a link in the comments in case anybody wants to go to it. Or I guess in the chat. And there's so many tracks there to go through. It's great. Also, this is like the world's worst heartbeat monitor. Like, it just goes like this, which makes you wonder if it's dropping frames because of that. It might be. Or it could just be YouTube's crappy software. Their back end's a little garbage. Lots of streamers tell me it's not great. That's okay though. I made changes to the jacks. Oh, that one almost looks like it has blood on its mouth, doesn't it? This back one up here, nice. It does kind of look like that. Like it just bit something or something. This one looks like it's just got a shattered head. That one's just menacing now. Wow. I didn't even notice. Shows how much I pay attention to things. Alright, we need to see if it spawns the fires or not. Honestly, I figured out that mouse problem. Are you immune to my attacks? Okay, something is not good about these. It does get hit, but I think they need to be bigger. I think it is bigger by far. I'm going to change that right now while I'm thinking about it. I think they'll just use the same size as like the dolls or something. Actually, they'll all use the same size. They're all approximately around the same size, so I ended up making them bigger for that very reason. They just don't really hit very well. Right, this second one's right. Yeah. I'll just change them all. Even though these ones aren't going to be included in the other thing, they're going to be much later. If I change them all now, I won't have to remember later, and that sounds great. Relying on my memory is terrible. Also, I don't need this Prodigy block stuff. I'm not using that anymore. I'll be cleaning that code out for a while, but that's what happens when you experiment with a whole other plugin like Gal's Map Projectiles, and then it just doesn't do what you want. I mean, it did do it, but I don't know. At that point, it becomes almost like a bullet hell, and I don't think it needs to be a bullet hell. I think I'm good with it just being a little more laid back than that. More Diablo. Less I want to be the guy, you know? Oh. It vanished. How did it vanish? It destroyed its own thing. Well, those moved. Are they spreading? Come on, spread. Do it. Spread. Did it spread? Oh yeah, probably isn't because I didn't put a dot there, huh? Yeah. Should probably include that it's a property of the of itself there. Include it down here. That's why you should just recycle your code, copy paste, then you don't have to worry about messing up, you know, syntax. Oh well, let's try again. This time with me actually having the right code in there. Be a solid plan. I'll probably go until about 4 tonight or something. Had to go visit a doctor, get my shoulder checked out, and the problem is that they're like, oh, we can get you in 2 months from now. However, if you call at 8 a.m., you can get a same-day appointment. So I got my appointment today, but I had to sit up all the way until 8 a.m., and it was at 3:15 p.m. So I got about 6.5 hours of sleep in between, and then had to go work, and I'm streaming, and you know, it was supposed to be a day where I had plenty of rest, but it turned out to me having to stay awake a lot of extra hours that I was not gonna stay awake. Because normally I end around like 4 or 5, I'd maybe sit up an extra hour, then I go to sleep, and that gives me time for 8 hours of sleep before I need to work. So it's like, okay, I guess I'm just staying awake. But better than waiting 2 months. Like, oh, well, by the way, if you wait 2 months, you know, that's just the start of the chain. They're going to send me over to physical training to, you know, try to mess with it and make it work better and everything. And that will probably take a month to get approved by my insurance. So if I'd waited, it'd have been real bad. It spawns darkness, huh? It shouldn't spawn darkness. Right? Yeah, it's just spawning darkness. Okay, well, there's a few problems here. First of all, why in the world does it keep removing itself? This one is no different than the other ones. Right? Should be. It only has a 3 there. I might be telling it to attack at some point and use a different animation because I copy and pasted code. That's possible. Let me double check that. That makes sense if that's the reason why that one itself is breaking. False, like that doesn't change the animation. Right here, where I'm telling it a different action, that's why it's breaking. The clown heads don't have arms or legs or anything, so they don't actually have a different action. Like other ones have, like, you know, attacks and blocks and things like that, but these ones just kind of hover up and down. I might make them flip or something in order to do their attack, but I actually just made them explode when they get to the player, except for the boss, who doesn't explode. Also, I don't want the game over if it gets too dark thing. That might be a thing that, like, the last boss could have. Like, I could make a secret last boss. Well, I'm not going to for the prototype. It's just going to be the 4 bosses, and it's just going to get progressively harder because more of them will be out there. So I just want to make it, you know, some brutal, almost Dark Souls action for funsies, and then it'll become more and more of a fair game as it goes along when I add more abilities. Okay, so this one needs to spawn 198, and for some reason it didn't spawn 198. Those are. Does 198 actually have a fire on it? Yeah, enemy fire, perfect. Yeah, that's right. So, how is it spawning the other event? Oh, it does this one here. This one didn't get changed yet. I might make it also shoot fireballs or something. Or I could actually just make it spawn little mini versions of it itself that fly at you and explode, which I think is way cooler, so that's probably what's about to happen. Okay, so the version with this boss with Gal's map projectiles was hilarious because I rigged each one of the little tiny clown heads it fired to explode and just let blood and guts everywhere. It was just complete, just make the screen all red. It was just amazing. It was so overkill. It was beautiful. Same blood effect, only just would do like 30 of them at a shot. It was crazy. Alright, boss, here you are. Okay, you're spawning little pentagrams. That's fine. Fires? Do the fires spread? They're going to spread a lot more by just simply using it. Looks like they do spread. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's crazy. It's on fire. It's all going to burn down. Oh my god. That looks like a print screen affair. I'm going to print screen that. I'm open my art program. Just for all the fire. I love it. Hey, my game's on fire. Oh no. Game on fire. Let me, I think I'll just save that for later, but I'm gonna This is awesome. Look at how much fire that is. Wow. I think I might make it spread faster, though. Because I do like it. I'm waiting to see it spread again and make sure it's really spreading. Or maybe that's just the bosses doing the extra spreading. I don't even know. Let's double check the code's even working. Let me make a check to make sure that works. Let's do a console log on this one. So I know they're actually spawning. Console log secondary fire. Oh, I opened an extra browser I don't need. I have like every browser in the sun installed, which is always fun. So we need that there. I'm going to speed up how fast they do this. I don't want them to despawn themselves before they actually do that. So we're going to do... This will be like 5, I guess. I need to make the system work for the other, but whatever. That's 5 seconds before they spawn the next one? That's kind of weak. We don't want it to be too fast, though. I mean, in theory, it could also spawn and keep going farther forward, so it would, and they would, like, get removed behind it. So it could be like an endless fire that goes towards the thing there. That'd be kind of weird, though. I don't know if I like that or not. It would just keep going, but the boss would eventually just overwhelm the level with those things because they would just keep spawning indefinitely. So I do think there needs to be a cap. And the fire spreading does seem a little more interesting than it just being another poison effect for all intents and purposes, which is what it would be basically. That's kind of lame. Looks like when the person coming and going left finally. It was exciting when I mashed it. Oh, look at it go. There's so many. Is it spawning the other one? I got secondary fire 97. Okay, well, that's a lot of fires there, buddy. Oh, I see. Don't make it greater then. Just make it equal. I just kept doing it. I was like, oh god, there's so many. What am I gonna do? The attic's gonna burn to the ground. Oh no. Why? Why? I tell you why. Bad times. Bad times. Okay, so... I need to spawn in front of the one I'm working on. I've had a lot of things go pretty well today, so we're getting along well enough. I have all the attacks made. I've made the slow attack. I've made the poison pools. Made graphics for all the slow stuff too. Made graphics for poison pool. Switched it so this actually does fire. Changed some of the behaviors so that they actually allow you to block. Added a new type of ticker. Did a tutorial. We're getting there. These things are obnoxious. Oh my gosh. They're so obnoxious. They just dodge. I don't recall giving them the thing to dodge. They must have some sort of dodge mechanic. Maybe if they get too close and they're set to do the evade. I don't know. That's crazy. They're obnoxious. So obnoxious. Do your fires. Do them. Make fire. Make fire. Make more fires. Oh, look at that. So many fires. That's too many fires. They're everywhere. Oh my god. You too can prevent forest fires. Jeez. That's another one for the why did I do it pictures here. They're just going like crazy. There's so many. Yeah, there's 144 secondary fires. That is clearly not okay. Why is it spawning so many? Oh, well, first of all, it only set once. Randomly around the event. They should just be a number. I don't want it to be up to 10. That's insane. That's so many. Number. Actually, make it easy. Spawn number. They all say spawn something, so it's easy. This is as a skip on. I don't even need that. You can tell this code's really old because I have spaces in it too, and use quotations. I don't do that at all anymore. And do I want to spawn 2? Sure, I guess. But if I do that, I guess I want these to last less time. I think I'm at 6, I guess. Just a bit less time. That's 6 seconds. That's not too bad. That's kind of wild, though. I gotta be careful we don't overload RM, though. That's the big problem. It could easily happen. Yeah, I'll probably work another 33 minutes or so, and then I'll end up calling it for the night. As much as I'm enjoying this, that lack of sleep is really the worst. I do need to resolve a couple of these problems that are real problems here. Like the mouse issue is just super important to solve, and then I need to solve the enemies, like their image vanishing, but them not vanishing, like not being killed. So it doesn't happen every time, but it does happen, and it's really obnoxious. So I did it 10 times. Okay, that's fair. I'm most concerned about the FPS. I'm wondering what happens if the FPS goes nuts or not. I might just have it launch fires everywhere. I don't think I really want to do other things. Like the projectiles are okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just do the clown heads. I'll think about that. You gonna do those? Okay. It definitely doesn't do the fire often enough. That's pretty often there. It definitely snowballs pretty hard. I mean, if you look at that, it's gone pretty nuts. But the FPS has done fine mostly. It's going down a little bit though. The fire particle is not for the faint of heart. I definitely improved it, but I wasn't too concerned about the number of particles it used. So, so far it seems like it's okay. Okay, well, I think I'll stick with that for now. It's firing this event, right? 261, is it using 261? Let's double check this before I waste time changing it. $158. Oh, change the event action here. I don't need that. Okay, it's no more of those, sure. I don't see 168 anywhere. But I've seen it spawn 2 different types of projectiles, which makes me question why it does that. It definitely does 158. Which would be the pentagram. But it hit me with a darkness shot. It must be using this somewhere. I feel like I'm blind. Like it's here somewhere. I'm just missing it. Well, I don't use any of those anymore. Spawn pattern 40. Wait, what is that 44? Oh. Well, I'll do 261. Right. There, I guess I can have 2 projectiles. Do I want to have 2 projectiles? I don't know if I do. I might just want to have 1. That might be like extra unnecessary here. Let's just do 158. We'll use the clown shot. Just a picture of a clown head. You could spit the clowns out and they could just spawn there where it shoots them. I might add that to the notes there. I don't think I'll do that tonight. Clown head boss. Projectile. Shoots out and spawns a mini clown head. That should be exciting. Who doesn't want more clowns in their game, right? Everybody wants more clowns. Especially disembodied heads of clowns. That's like the #1 thing everyone has always wanted in their game. Why have a whole clown when you can just have lots of pieces of clowns? It's way more exciting. Why am I killing those? I don't care. I'm trying to get Ross out here to do things. Ooh. Oh, somehow I messed it up. Alright, alright. I see what I did wrong. Shot is not the name on there. I put it in the wrong thing. This is, we're being just tired. It's factoring in here. Yeah. I'll probably give it a different name in a bit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Oh, gotta close the previous version. Ugh. Ugh. You can definitely feel the weight of not sleeping right about now. I'll get some delicious food after this and sit up for another hour or two and then just fall over. It's been like 6 hours since I ate too. Didn't eat, didn't sleep. Perfect. Good day. The best day. Maybe I'll just call it after I get done with this thing here. Show me the other one. Show it to me. Fired it. Couldn't see it. Fired it. Oh. They're little baby ones. That's adorable. By adorable, I mean pretty crappy and not really all that great. How big is this graphic? I think it's too small. The graphic size of this item here is 120 by 90. Ew. How big is my pentagram? Which pentagram does she fire? The regular pentagram. Regular pentagram is 180 by 180. I need a clown head that's 180 by 180. Find myself a clown head from all the different clown heads. I have many to choose from, every animation of the clown head. Is there a particular one I like best? I think it's just going to be the normal one. This one's fine. So let's copy that one. Actually, let's just open it up. And I'm going to shrink it down to 180 by 180. It's not really very square, is it? Let me resize the image entirely here. I guess I'll do it on stream here. Resize canvas. 366. And then make it a 180. Be the new clown shot. And then I'll just make a fresh actual thing for it. Making all kinds of ones today. Anyone watching at this point would see how to make all kinds of particles. I don't need this. I actually don't want it to spin. I'm very spastic. Just normal scale is fine. Why are we spinning? Because you're a ring. That's why you're spinning. Make them point. Add from the back on or something? Kind of sucks. I mean, it moves far enough. Not great, but not rotating anyway. Not necessary. I forgot this particular one doesn't have as many options on it. We'll just call it for now and add this projectile in as it is. The boss shot, I guess, be fine. This one. And then let's add it into here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to call it after I test this one out. Fading fast and wishing I had some food. And having a hard time seeing particle emitter. It's right in front of me. Sure sign that I should not be doing this after so many hours of not sleeping. Alright, so this is the one. MSU focus stuff could actually be really good for this kind of game. Alright, boss, let's wind it up for tonight with working. Okay, that was weird. Stops immediately, I don't like that. I don't know if I like the projectile, but that's okay. I do like the fire. The projectile needs to just spawn an enemy when it lands somewhere. But that'll be something for a different night. So I'm gonna call it for the night. Anyone who watches this point in the stream, thanks for watching. I'm gonna be back tomorrow at 1 a.m. Pacific. That's just one for people who don't actually use AM and PM. And I'll likely have another tutorial with a different particle to start it out. So if you want more particles, check back tomorrow. So anyway, I will catch you later. It's imageNames signing out. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is for you later.